Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Nature, Environment and Lifestyle, where we explore the wonders of our planet and delve into the diverse cultures that call it home. Today, we journey to the heart of the Middle East, to the ancient land of Iran, officially known as the Islamic Republic of Iran. Iran is situated in the Middle East, southwestern Asia, covered by 16 lakh 30,848 square kilometers, where 8 crore 75 lakh 29,000 peoples are living. Iran is bounded to the north by Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkmenistan, and the Caspian Sea, to the east by Pakistan and Afghanistan, to the south by the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, and to the west by Turkey and Iraq, and one third of its boundary is sea coasts. In Iran, strong religious beliefs have been part of Iranians' lives for thousands of years. Almost all Iranians are Muslim or followers of Islam. About 90% of Iranians are Shia Muslim. Iran has a long history of scholarship that has created a rich culture of art, literature, poetry, music, cuisine, and architecture. Ancient Iranian thinkers wrote influential texts on philosophy and medicine, and it was an Iranian mathematician who invented algebra. Iran's universities are among the most respected in the Middle East. The majority of population of Iran speak the Persian language, which is also the official language of the country, as well as other Iranian languages or dialects which are spoken in some part of Iran, such as Azeri dialect, Kurdish, and Arabic language. The Iranian rial is the official legal currency of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Not long ago, Iran was home to many lions, tigers, and other big cats. Unfortunately, these snake hunters are now very rare, and some species have gone extinct. Only a handful of Asiatic cheetahs and Persian leopards remain. Iran has several reserves and parks where wildlife thrives. One of them is Gobir National Park. It is located in the north-central region and is known as Little Africa because its plants and animals resemble those of Africa. This park is home to Iran's only cheetahs. Iran's mountains in the north and west have dense forests that offer habitat for brown bears, wild goats, wolves, and leopards. The country's central plateau is home to deer, gazelles, hyenas, and jackals, among other animals. Iran's government is controlled by a religious figure called the Supreme Leader, who is appointed by a group of Islamic clerics called the Assembly of Experts. A president elected by the people is second in command. Iran has extensive oil reserves, but its economy has been hit hard by a trade ban imposed by the United States since the Shah was ousted in 1979. Allegations that Iran supports terrorism and a belief that it is developing nuclear weapons has led to further isolation in recent years. Iran is one of the oldest nations in the world, with a history dating back tens of thousands of years. The country's first great city, Susa, was built on the central plateau around 3200 BC. In the late 18th century, foreign powers, including Russia and Britain, took control of parts of Persia. In 1921, a Persian army officer named Reza Khan took control and sought to end outside influence. In 1935, he renamed the country Iran. His son Muhammad Reza Pahlavi became Shah in 1941. In 1979, many Iranians who felt Pahlavi was corrupt forced him to flee, ending the reign of the Shah in Iran. Since then, religious leaders have ruled the country. The first was Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, whose 10 years in power were marked by a long war with Iraq and tensions with the United States and many other nations. The President of Iran is the head of government of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The President is the second highest ranking official of Iran after the Supreme Leader. The President is required to gain the Supreme Leader's official approval before being sworn in by the Parliament, and the Supreme Leader has the power to dismiss the elected President if he has either been impeached by Parliament or found guilty of a constitutional violation by the Supreme Court. The President carries out the decrees and answer to the Supreme Leader, who functions as the country's head of state. Unlike the executive in other countries, the President of Iran doesn't have full control over the government, which is ultimately under the direct control of the Supreme Leader. Before elections, the nominees must be approved by the Guardians Council to become a president candidate. Members of the Guardian Council are chosen by the Supreme Leader. The President of Iran is elected for a 4-year term by direct vote and is not permitted to run for more than 2 consecutive terms. The President also appoints the ministers subject to the approval of Parliament, as well as to that of the Supreme Leader, who can dismiss or reinstate any of the ministers and vice presidents at any time, regardless of the President or Parliament's decision. The Supreme Leader also directly chooses the Minister of Defense, Intelligence, Foreign Affairs, and Interior, as well as certain other ministries, such as the Science Ministry. Iran's regional policy is directly controlled by the Office of the Supreme Leader, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs task limited to protocol and ceremonial occasions. All the Iran's ambassadors to Arab countries are chosen by the Quds Corps, which directly reports to the Supreme Leader. The current long-time Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, ruling Iran for more than 3 decades, has issued decrees and made final decisions on economy, education, environment, foreign policy, national planning, and almost everything else in the country. Khamenei has also made final decision on the degree of transparency in elections in Iran and has fired and reinstated presidential cabinet appointments. The current president of Iran is Ibrahim Raisi, who assumed office on 3rd August 2021 after the 2021 presidential election. He succeeded Hassan Rouhani, who served 8 years in office from 2013 to 2021. The Iranian armed forces are the combined military forces of Iran, comprising the Islamic Republic of Iran Army and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the Law Enforcement Force. Iranian armed forces are the largest in the Middle East in terms of active troops. Iran's military forces are made up of approximately 610,000 active duty personnel plus 350,000 reserve and trained personnel that can be mobilized when needed, bringing the country's military manpower to about 960,000 total personnel. Most of Iran's imported weapons consist of American systems purchased before the 1979 Islamic Revolution, with limited purchases from Russia in the 1990 following the Iran-Iraq War. However, the country has since then launched a robust domestic rearmament program, and its inventory has become increasingly indigenous. According to Iranian officials, most of the country's military hardware is domestically manufactured, and the country had already become an exporter of arms by the 2000s, unable to import weapons systems from abroad due to international and US sanctions, and suffering from an increasingly aging Air Force fleet. Iran has invested considerable funds into an ambitious ballistic and cruise missile program for long-range strike capability, and has manufactured different types of arms and ammunition, including tanks, armored vehicles and drones, as well as various naval assets and aerial defense systems. Iran is a mixed economy with a large public sector. Some 60% of Iran's economy is centrally planned. Iran's economy is characterized by its hydrocarbon, agricultural, and service sectors, in addition to manufacturing and financial services, with over 40 industries directly involved in the Tehran Stock Exchange. The stock exchange has been one of the best performing exchanges in the world over the past decade. With 10% of the world's proven oil reserves and 15% of its gas reserves, Iran is considered an energy superpower. Today, up to this. Thanks for watching the video.